Holy moly, I'm just chilled to the bone. It is a cold day today. It's actually not that cold, it's only about -7 or so. But it's breezy, there's no sun, and it's damp. Like it was snowing this morning, so we have a low pressure system coming through. And I'm just chilled to the bone. I'm on my third last yard to move these hives in. I should be able to get done by supper, which is going to be really nice because we have some cold weather coming at us. You can probably hear the breeze coming through. It's a terrible breeze. At any rate, I just wanted to show you one thing that I do with my colonies. Is probably one of the most asked questions I get about my colony management, and is that bubble wrap. I call them foamies. And I use this stuff basically exactly for probably this, this wind, you're probably hearing this wind, exactly for this wind, just for the breeze. I buy it at the local hardware store. We use it to wrap hot water tanks. It's just 2 layers of bubble wrap with aluminum foil on one side or 2 sides. We use it to wrap our hot water tanks to conserve heat, or they use it for, I don't know what else they use it for, but I use it for these foamies just to help seal the lid up on top of the colony. So what I do is I use these pliable covers, and all they are is bubble wrap. I use as inner covers on my colonies. So on the lids I have this rim that you can see, and this rim's to provide space for the patty, but what it also does is it presses down this foamy around the edges of the box, just so when I open up the colonies, I put my foamy down, and the lid back on, it just creates a complete seal to the top of that colony. And as you can see, after a while the bees will propolize it down and make a complete seal, and that just helps eliminate all that kind of draft that gets into the colony whenever we crack the lid. Because without that, we have these gaps, these spaces here that just create an unwanted draft. This time of year, these clusters, they're broodless, so they can take a lot more abuse. So, a little bit of bone-chilling draft blowing onto the cluster is not as detrimental to them. But in the spring, when they're maintaining a brood nest, they have all these conditions they have to maintain. They have to maintain humidity and temperature and just the resources of food around that. And by having a cold draft blowing into the top of the colony after I go through and work with them, it just adds stress. It doesn't do them any good. So basically I use these, they're mostly for the spring, just to kind of protect that cluster, the integrity of that cluster throughout as it's starting to develop itself into spring. Like these guys, they don't know any different. It's like a cold day and windy, and they don't know any different from the draft hitting these colonies. They got a well propolized up around the bottoms. That foamy around the top is well sealed. They're nice, neat, and tight and tidy inside. I don't really have to worry about moisture issues through the winter, so I bring them inside, and that cold, dry air drawn into the building, really dries the building out. So I am in fact looking to maintain a little bit of condensation type humidity within that cluster. So sealing off the top does that very effectively. If I was wintering outside, I have to be very conscious on removing the heat and humidity from that cluster. What happens is that heat rises, humidity, and you want to be able to allow it to escape, to be able to get that humidity out. Otherwise, that humidity will rise up and condense and rain on the cluster, or it'll freeze. It's a bit of an ice crust, and as it warms, then it'll rain, and it doesn't do them any good. So if you're going to be using any type of inner covers like this, wintering outside, especially in wet, humid areas, just be sure to pay a lot of attention to allowing that warm, humid air off the cluster to escape. It's just what I believe. I know there's a little bit of debate about that, but you don't want condensation within the cluster, within the cavity, to negatively affect that cluster. So just keep that in mind as you're watching me do all this kind of stuff. So I'll just turn the light on here before I shut it off for the winter. There she is. Everybody's inside. I spaced things a little tighter this year just so I could fit everything in. Boy, it feels good to be done. So I'm going to do the thing that I look forward to every year. Lights off. Turn the fans off. Turn the ceiling fans off too. So every year when I get these bees in, I look forward to the moment of standing inside this shed with 30 to 40 million bees in complete silence. Just to hear that roar. I'm not sure if the mic picks this up. This is one of the moments that keeps me going. Just savor it.